There's always someone who gives me a thumbs up, and I don't know who that is, but whoever that is, you're really great. If you're the person who gives me a thumbs up, you should email me and tell me who you are. Unless you want to remain anonymous, that's okay. Um, ooh, that's a new word for the day. Anonymous. So what does anonymous mean? Anonymous means that you're unknown. So you're kind of like a ninja. Covers your face because you want to remain unknown because you're a ninja. So that's what anonymous means. Um, yeah, okay, we'll start. Hi everyone. Happy Friday on this beautiful but cold. Well, it's just because we've been spoiled with really good weather this year. It's really not that cold out. But kind of chilly day, May Day. I hope all of you are great and all of you are ready to enjoy your weekend with whatever you may doing. Probably at home. That's okay. This is a good time if you are with your family, which most of you would be with your family, um, to spend lots of time with your family. That um, and really just this is a great time to spend time with family. Um, uh, if you can, I haven't seen my family for a very long time, except for on um, FaceTime and Google Hangouts and things like that. But I have some really great, awesome people here too, so it's great. So I'm going to give a shout out today to Charlie, to my student Charlie, because she has been so fun on our video calls, and she's been like she's done so well. She has just been doing awesome, and she's so sweet and having so much fun, and I have so much fun with her on the video call. So Charlie, this shout out is to you. Okay, we're gonna recap a little bit on what happened last when we were reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. So oh man, Eustace is so funny. Eustace just cracks me up so much. He's so negative and terrible. But the things that he says is so funny. So anyways, Caspian. So anyways, they found the islands. They found the lone islands, and there were three different ones. They had oh, where was it? Philomath, Dorn, and I forgot what the other one was called. Oh, I forgot. Oh, Arva, which is like the same name as the one of the stars. No, that was yeah, it was Arva. I think it was Arva in Prince Caspian. So I think that's really random. Um, but anyways, they landed on Felamath and decided, oh, it's uninhabited. Like there's no people on it. So we should walk on it and we'll leave the rest of our crew on the Dawn Treader. And the Dawn Treader will go to the other side and then they'll pick us up and we'll in the channel, the little like with the wide opening of water between two islands and take us over to the next one, Dorne, where New I think it's I forgot the name of the town now. Something Haven. You guys would remember this because you guys have better memories than I do. But anyways, take him to the new town. But Caspian was leery. He was saying, "Oh, don't tell them our names, especially don't tell them my name because like these islands are owned by Narnia. No one really knows why they're owned by Narnia, but they are. Apparently, Narnia must have conquered them like a long time ago, and so he is the rightful king over the Lone Islands. However, no one from Narnia has been there for like thousands of years, so they might not know that Narnia, the king is the right of Narnia is the rightful king of the Lone Islands. So Caspian's kind of afraid to let anyone know who he really is because people might not like that. And um, oh, I see it. Ah, oh, now I see it. Oh, McKinley gives me a thumbs up every day. McKinley, thank you so much for the thumbs up every day. You are so great. Um, I just saw that. Aw, thanks, McKinley. Okay, so, no, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry, I'm so scatterbrained today. It's a Friday. We're all tired. Um, what was it? They got onto the island, and all of a sudden there were people there. Oh, I got 2 thumbs up now. And, and, uh, they got there, and they were people there, but all of a sudden they seemed they he was friendly enough, but they seemed, um they were leery of them and kind again, leery. They were like, Why are you here?" And, they got kidnapped by them, and they were slave traders, um, and it was terrible. So they got picked up by slave traders, and, Caspian got sold to this guy who was kind of important, but the rest are separated and are being taken to the town to be put on the market for sale. Even Eustace, who demanded to see the British Council. So let's see what happens next. Okay, okay. Let's see. Where were we? Oh no, I lost the spot in the book. Okay, let's see. Okay, hold on. Found it. Okay. Oh, and the leader's name was Pug. Okay, I'm sorry. This is taking a long time. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. Wait. I'm so sorry. Well, said Pug. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Caspian was asking him how he was the man was asking Caspian how should he know that he is Caspian because he recognized him. Precisely by my face, said Caspian, simply because I know within 6 guesses who you are. You are one of those 7 lords of Narnia whom my uncle Mira sent to see and whom I have come out to look for. Argaz, Byrne, Oxtestian, Restamar, Marva, Mavramorn, or I have forgotten the others. And finally, if your lordship will give me a sword, I will prove on any man's body in clean battle that I am Caspian, the son of Caspian, lawful king of Narnia, lord of Cair Paravel, and emperor of the Lone Islands. By heaven, exclaimed the man, it is his father's very voice and trick of speech. My liege, your majesty. And there in the field he knelt and kissed the king's hand. The money your lordship disbursed for our person will be made good from our own treasury, said Caspian. They're not in Pug's purse yet, sire, said the Lord Byrne, for it was he. And never will be, I trust. I have moved his sufficiency the governor 100 times to crush this vile traffic in man's flesh. My Lord Byrne, said Caspian, we must talk of the state of the islands, but first, what is your lordship's own story? Short enough, sire, said Byrne. I came thus far with my 6 fellows, loved a girl of the islands, and felt I had enough of the sea. And there was no purpose in returning to Narnia while your majesty's uncle held the reins. So I married, and I have lived here ever since. And what is this governor, this Gumpus, like? Does he still acknowledge the king of Narnia for his lord? In words, yes, all is done in the king's name, but he would not be best pleased to find a real live king of Narnia coming in upon him. And if your majesty came before him alone and unarmed, well, he would not deny his allegiance, but he would pretend to disbelieve you. Your grace's life would be in danger. What following has your majesty in these waters? There is my ship just around the point, said Caspian. We are about 30 swords if it came to fighting. Shall we not have my ship in and fall upon Pug and free my friends to whom he holds captive? Not by my counsel, said Byrne. As soon as there was a fight, 2 or 3 ships would be put out from Narrowhaven to rescue Pug. Your Majesty must work by a show of more power than you really have, and by the terror of the king's name. It must not come to plain battle. Gumpus is a chicken-hearted man and can be overawed. After a little more conversation, Caspian and Byrne walked down to the coast a little west of the village, and there Caspian winded his horn. This was not the great magic horn of Narnia, Queen Susan's horn. He had left that at home for his regent Trumpkin to use if any great need fell upon the land in the king's absence. Drinian, who was on the lookout for a signal, recognized the royal horn at once, and the Dawn Treader began standing into the shore. Then the boat put off again, and in a few moments Caspian and the Lord Byrne were on deck explaining the situation to Drinian. He, just like Caspian, wanted to lay the Dawn Treader alongside the slave ship at once and board her, but Byrne made the same objection. Steer straight down this channel, Captain, said Byrne, and then round to Arva, where my own estates are. But first, run up the king's banner, hang out all the shields, and send as many men to the fighting top as you can. And about 5 bow shots hence, when you get open sea on your port bow, run up a few signals. Signals? To whom? Said Drinian. Why, to all the other ships we haven't got, but to which it might be well that Gumpus thinks we have here, even though we don't. Oh, I see, said Drinian, rubbing his hands, and they'll read our signals. What shall I say? Whole fleet round to the south of Arva and assemble at Burnstead, said the Lord Byrne. That'll do exactly. Their whole journey, as if there were any ships, would be out of sight from Narrowhaven. Caspian was sorry for the others languishing in the hold of Pug's slave ship, but he could not help finding the rest of the day enjoyable. Late in the afternoon, for they had to do all by oar, having to turn to the starboard around the northeast end of Doran and port again round the point of Arva, they entered into the good harbor on Arva's southern shore, where Byrne's pleasant land sloped down to the water's edge. Byrne's people, many of whom they saw working in the fields, were all freemen, and it was a happy and prosperous fief. They all went ashore and were royally feasted in a low pillared house overlooking the bay. Byrne and his gracious wife and married daughters made them good cheer, but after dark, Byrne sent a messenger over by boat to Dorne to order some preparations. He did not say exactly what for the following day. Chapter 4. What Caspian did there. Next morning, the Lord Byrne called his guests early, and after breakfast he asked Caspian to order every man he had into full armor. And above all, he added, let everything be as trim and scoured as if it were the morning of the first battle in a great war between noble kings, with all the world looking on. This was done, and then in 3 boatloads, Caspian and his people, and Byrne with a few of his, put out for Narrowhaven. The king's flag flew in the stern of his boat, and his trumpeter was with him. When they reached the jetty at Narrowhaven, Caspian found a considerable crowd assembled to meet them. This is what I sent word about last night, said Byrne. They are all friends of mine and honest people. And as soon as Caspian stepped ashore, the crowd broke out into hurrahs and shouts of Narnia, Narnia, long live the king! At the same moment, and this was also due to Byrne's messengers, bells began ringing from many parts of the town. Then Caspian caused his banner to be advanced and his trumpet to be blown, and every man drew his sword and set his face into a joyful sternness. And they marched up the street so that the street shook, and their armor shone, for it was a sunny morning, and so that one could hardly look at it steadily. At first, the only people who cheered were those who had been warned by Byrne's messengers and knew what was happening and wanted it to happen. But then All the children joined in because they liked a procession and had seen very few in their lives. And then all the schoolboys joined in because they also liked processions and felt that the more noise and disturbance there was, the less likely they would have any school that morning. And then all the old women put their heads out of doors and windows and began chattering and cheering because it was a king. And what is a governor compared with a king? And all the young women joined in for the same reason, and also because Caspian and Drinian and the rest were all so handsome. And then all the young men came to see what the young women were looking at. So by the time Caspian reached the castle gates, nearly the whole town was shouting. And where Gumpus sat in the castle, muddling and messing about with accounts and forms and rules and regulations, he heard the noise. At the castle gate, Caspian's trumpeter blew a blast and cried, "Open for the king of Narnia, come to visit his trusty and well-beloved servant, the governor of the Lone Islands." In those days, everything in the islands was done in a slovenly, slouching manner. Only the little postern opened, and out came a tousled fellow with a dirty old hat on his head instead of a helmet, and a rusty old pike in his hand. He blinked at the flashing figures before him. "Carn sees fish hensy," he mumbled, which was his way of saying, "You can't see his sufficiency. No interviews without appointments except between 9 and 10 p.m., second Saturday every month. Uncover before Narnia, you dog," thundered the Lord Byrne, and dealt him a rap with his gauntleted hand, which sent his hat flying from his head. What's it all about?" began the doorkeeper, but no one took any notice of him. Two of Caspian's men stepped through the postern, and after some struggling with bars and bolts, for everything was rusty, flung both wings of the gate open wide. Then the king and his followers strode into the courtyard. Here, a number of the governor's guards were lounging about, and several more, they were mostly wiping their mouths, came tumbling out of various doorways. Though their armor was in a disgraceful condition, these were fellows who might have fought if they had been led or had known what was happening. So this was the dangerous moment. Caspian gave them no time to think. "Where is the captain?" he asked. I am more or less, if you know what I mean," said a languid and rather dandified young person without any armor at all. Dandified, that means he's fancy. "It is our wish," said Caspian, "that our royal visitation to the realm of the Lone Island should, if possible, be an occasion of joy and not of terror to our loyal subjects. If it were not for that, I should have something to say about the state of your men's armor and weapons. As it is, you are pardoned. Command a cask of wine to be opened that your men may drink to our health. But at noon tomorrow, I wish to see them here in this courtyard looking like men at arms and not vagabonds. See it to our pain, see to it on pain of our extreme displeasure." The captain gaped, but Byrne immediately cried, "Three cheers for the king!" And the soldiers, who understood about the cask of wine, even though they understood nothing else of what was said, joined in. Caspian then ordered most of his men to remain in the courtyard. He, with Byrne and Drinian and four others, went into the hall. And that's where we're going to stop for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. This is a very amusing part, how their whole plan went about, even though they have like no men with them. Thanks for watching. I'm glad that you're here, whether you're watching now or later, and I miss all of you, and I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Monday.